10 insane fighter jets facts that will shock you. You may have seen them in movies. Perhaps you have witnessed them flying their planes in the sky above you. Perhaps a member of your family who served in the military has even shared anecdotes with you about their experiences. No matter what you know or don't know about them, there is one certain thing. Military aviators have been helping to protect and serve the United States of America in the air for more than a century, ever since the Wright brothers built the Army its first aircraft. In this video, we are going to discuss 10 insane fighter jets facts that will shock you. Number 10. The United States Army began soliciting proposals for its first aircraft in the year 1908. A proposal was submitted by the well-known Wright brothers for their observation aircraft that had 2 seats and appeared to be almost ideal. The proposal was approved by the Army since the aircraft was able to satisfy all of the requirements that the military had prescribed for its entrance. One of the military's tests of this aircraft resulted in the death of an observer from the Army named Lieutenant Thomas E. Selfridge. Unfortunately, not all of the military's tests were successful. In the year that followed, the Wright brothers came back with a brand new and improved aircraft that was referred to as the Wright Military Flyer. The United States Army paid $30,000 for this aircraft. Using this aircraft, the military began training pilots, making it the first official military aircraft in the history of the international community. The Wright Military Flyer is currently on display in the National Air and Space Museum of the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, District of Columbia. Number 9. Do you know who the first military pilot was? Following the acquisition of its first aircraft, the military was tasked with the task of locating a pilot to pilot the new aircraft. They concluded that they needed to train 3 pilots, and Frederick E. Humphreys was one of them. After undergoing only 3 hours of training, the West Point graduate made history on October 26, 1909, when he became the first military pilot to fly a plane without any accompanying passengers. In 1915, Humphreys joined the New York National Guard, but the following year he resigned from his position to take over the business that his family owned. He was laid to rest in Arlington National Cemetery after passing away in the year 1941. Number 8. Colonel Jeannie Leavitt is a military aviator you should be familiar with. An introduction to Major Gen. Jeannie Leavitt, the first female fighter pilot in the United States Air Force. After joining the service in 1992, she made history by being the first woman to command a combat fighter wing. She has accumulated more than 3,000 flight hours, including more than 300 hours of combat time. During her military service, Leavitt has been awarded a Bronze Star Medal in addition to a multitude of other prizes and honors. She presently holds the position of Director of Operations and Communications at Headquarters Air Education and Command, which is located on Joint Base San Antonio in the state of Texas. Number 7. Need for Speed. The precision, power, and lightning-fast speed of military aircraft are well-known assets of the military. Now, what is the quickest military jet that has ever taken to the skies? This is the X-15. NASA, the United States Air Force, the United States Navy, and the North American Aviation Corporation collaborated on a hypersonic research effort that resulted in the creation of this jet. This aircraft has been in the air for a decade and holds the unofficial record for both speed and altitude in the globe. On October 6, 1967, it attained a staggeringly high speed of 4520 miles per hour, Mach 6.72, which is more than 5 times the speed of sound. On that particular day, Major William Pete Knight, an Air Force pilot, was the one who was in charge of the controls. Joseph Walker, a pilot with NASA, was the one who took it to an altitude of 354,200 feet 4 years earlier. There are some very fast aircraft that have been flown in the 21st century, including the F-15E Strike Eagle, 1875 EMF, the F-15A Eagle, 1,650 miles per hour, and the F-22A Raptor, 1,500 miles per hour, all of which are Air Force jets. Even though no other military jet has ever reached speeds even remotely comparable to those of the X-15, there have been some very fast aircraft flown. Number 6. Are there other opportunities in the military aviation sector besides the Air Force? A common misunderstanding is that the Air Force is the only branch that engages in aviation. This is because the word air is practically half of the name of the Air Force. On the other hand, that is not even close to being entirely accurate. According to the facts, each branch of the United States military has its own commissioned pilots and aircraft. Aviators are present in the United States Marine Corps, United States Navy, United States Army, United States Coast Guard, and United States Space Force. The types of aircraft that each branch flies and the training that they receive are the primary categories that differentiate them from one another. Number 5. There is a museum dedicated to military aviation. Not only does the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, District of Columbia, house several well-known aircraft, But those who are interested in military aviation should also make their way to the Military Aviation Museum in Virginia Beach, which is located in the state of Virginia. This facility, which was established in 2008 and is devoted to presenting the history of military aviation, currently shows more than 70 aircraft, some of which are from the United States of America, Germany, Russia, the United Kingdom, and different countries. Number 4. In the 2000s and 2020s, the fifth generation emerged. Fifth-generation fighters are designed from the ground up to function in a network-centric combat environment. These fighters are currently at the forefront of the competition in terms of fighter design. The multifunction AESA radars that they possess are equipped with the capability to transmit data with a high bandwidth and a low probability of intercept (LPI). Thermoset and thermoplastic materials, advanced composites, conformal sensors, heat-resistant coatings, low observable wire meshes to cover intake and cooling vents, heat ablating tiles on the exhaust troughs seen on the WWII of 23, and coating internal and external metal areas with radar-absorbent materials and paint, RAM, RAP, are used for these fighters. Number 3. It is the sixth generation. As of November 2018, the United States of America, France, Germany, China, Japan, Russia, and the United Kingdom have all indicated their intention to create a sixth-generation aircraft program. To replace their existing fleet of Dassault Rafales, Eurofighter Typhoons, and Panavia Tornadoes, France and Germany have decided to collaborate on the development of a sixth-generation fighter aircraft by the year 2035. According to reports, Safran and MTU Aero Engines will work together to create the engines, while Dassault and Airbus will work together to lead the overall development of the aircraft. Additionally, Thales and MBDA are interested in acquiring a stake in the project. It has been stated that Spain intends to participate in the program in the later stages, and it is anticipated that they will sign a letter of intent at the beginning of 2019. Number 2. The certainty of a missile killed. In the Vietnam air conflict, the reliability of radar missile kills was roughly 10% at shorter ranges. This reliability was significantly poorer at longer ranges due to diminished radar return and increased time for the target aircraft to identify the incoming missile and take evasive action. The continued massive investment in research and development, along with the rapid advancement of electronic technology, resulted in a significant improvement in the reliability of radar missiles beginning in the late 1970s and continuing ahead. Number 1. The capacity of infrared homing missiles is effective. At the beginning of the Vietnam War, the efficacy of infrared homing missiles was just 7%, but as the war progressed, their effectiveness increased to around 15% to 40%. With a kill rate of roughly 7%, the AIM-4 Falcon, which was utilized by the United States Air Force, was regarded as a failure. The AIM-9B Sidewinder, which was launched later, earned a kill rate of 15%, while the AIM-9D and J versions, which were further improved, achieved a kill rate of 19%. During the 1982 Falklands War, the AIM-9 Sidewinder executed 19 kills out of a total of 26 missiles fired, which represents a 73% success rate. But in the 1991 Gulf War, when the United States was engaged in a war against adversaries who employed thermal countermeasures, the United States only managed to achieve 11 kills out of 48 shots launched, peak equals 23%, with the follow on AIM-9M bomber. This is the end of our video. You like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.